Jessii Vee, and I am here with Tumnus, who seems horrified to be on camera right now. Do you want to be here? I didn't think so. He's like, Mom, put me down, please. I want to go play. All right, guys. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about the very dark origins of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. And it's not even that it's creepy. It's that it's so sad. So get ready for that. And then I have a very creepy story about this little girl that was seeing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer every night in December. And it wasn't all that she thought it was. Before I get started though, I don't know if you guys have seen, but we have Crayola items on our website. You know how for like the past 2 years I've been doing different crayon videos and you guys have loved that? We decided to get Crayola products onto our website and they're so cool. We literally have crayon blankets that come in 3 different colors. These things are so soft and it's hard to tell the size on the website, but they are, I can't even show how big they are. They're really big and they have handles so they're easy to travel with. And we also have this crayon gnome home decor piece. It's carved out of wood. It's honestly extremely beautiful. And yeah, I just think it's so cool. I love crayons, as you guys know. So I'm gonna link those new products down below in the description for you. All right, guys, that is all of my announcements. So let's jump right into today's video talking about the origins of Rudolph. But let's first just give you a refresher about what the story is. I'm sure you already know, but for those who don't, listen carefully. The story chronicles the experiences of Rudolph, a youthful reindeer who possesses an unusual luminous red nose. Mocked and excluded by his peers because of this trait, Rudolph proves himself one Christmas Eve with poor visibility due to inclement weather. After Santa Claus catches sight of Rudolph's nose and asks Rudolph to lead his sleigh for the evening, Rudolph agrees and is finally favored by his fellow reindeer for his heroism and accomplishment. So it ends well, but the story itself is really sad because basically Rudolph is being bullied the whole time. So many people don't know that the original author of this story was actually a very sad man. He had an extremely hard life. His name was Robert L. May, and he was a Chicago copywriter, and he was asked by a company called Montgomery Ward to create a brand new character for its annual promotional booklet for Christmas. So he came up with a story of a reindeer with an abnormally large shiny red nose who gets teased by the other black-nosed reindeer. And despite it being a very heartwarming Christmas story by the end, this story was actually based on Robert's real-life experiences. When he was a kid, he was an extremely shy, small boy and was often bullied. And he was actually inspired by the Ugly Duckling story to write Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer because he related to people or things that were deemed as the underdogs. He too himself felt like he didn't belong in life. And he was writing these descriptions of this weeping, lonesome reindeer while his own wife was dying. He described walking to work on a windy, ice-cold January one day and feeling relieved that holiday street decorations had been taken down because his wife was suffering from this long-term illness. He just didn't feel very festive. And I think that's the most shocking thing about this. The fact that this man was hating Christmas at the time because his wife was suffering. And yet throughout all his pain, he had to write this fun Christmas story for kids. It's kind of like ironic and so weird to think about once you know what he was going through, and yet his boss was like, make kids happy on Christmas, and he just didn't feel that way himself. He said he first wanted to name the character Rollo, but after more thought, he figured it sounded too happy for a reindeer with an unhappy problem, and then he almost named the character Reginald, but that name seemed too sophisticated and fancy. So then he came up with Rudolph, which he said just sort of rolls off your tongue. It's easy to say, and it sounds like he embodies this sad character. As for the idea of the glowing nose, one evening he was looking out his office window in the middle of winter. There was a storm and he was seeing the fog from the lake, and he was trying to think about how Santa does such amazing work on such difficult nights. Like, how does he see where he's going? It's so dark outside, the snow's in the way. So he figured that Santa needed someone like Rudolph to light his way, and that's how he came up with this red nose. And when he was about halfway done writing this story, his wife passed away. His boss wanted to pass the the assignment on to someone else because obviously Robert was going through a tremendous amount of grief and pain. But Robert refused. He said that he needed Rudolph that time more than ever to help him work through that. So he kind of ended up using the Rudolph story as a coping mechanism. Anyways though, we all know this story because it's one of the most famous Christmas stories or songs ever. So he did accomplish what he set out to do. And this story just has an amazing moral. But like I said, once you know sort of the dark aspect of the writer's life, it changes everything. So now that we've talked about the sad stuff, I want to move on to the creepy stuff, which I know is a very odd transition. Maybe I should have done creepy first and then sad, I don't know. But this story is called Red Light in the Dark. So this story takes place in December of 2005. A mother and daughter were living in a small house surrounded by snowy fields and forests, and one night on December 5th, the little girl called her mother over to the window and pointed to this bright red light that was shining in the forest.
It's Rudolph, Mom!
She exclaimed with excitement. Now, her mother wasn't too sure if this was true, but she let her daughter believe that Rudolph was actually just standing there because she seemed so happy about it. The next few nights, the light was still there. Occasionally, it would move side to side in the forest, but it mostly just stayed in the same area. Hidden in the trees, just this one small red light that glowed in the darkness, that shone through the snow that was falling. It was as if Rudolph was just standing amongst the trees, staring at their house.
Rudolph must be protecting us,
her daughter said. She was always just so excited when the sun went down because she would run to the windows and wave at Rudolph once she saw that red light. Well, on Christmas Eve, they had all of their family over and decided to go on a little hike in the forest, and they were approaching the area where they knew they saw this red light every single night. And the mother was horrified to see that lying in the snow was a video camera. And that's how this story ends. So if you know anything about the old video cameras, I mean the new ones might have it too. They have a red light that shines whenever the camera is recording. So someone had been watching their house amongst the trees and it looked like Rudolph's red nose. That is awful. Anyway, so guys, those are the two stories I wanted to tell today. Christmas is coming up so soon. I'm so excited. I hope you guys have an awesome rest of your day and I will see you in my next video. Bye!